Hey guys, welcome to the European Pro League season number 39. We are in the midst of the first best of 3 for today, but it is, of course, one of the last days for the group stage. Syntax versus Summer Bears are going to be going at it. Summer Bears, who were previously the Winter Bears, but it is summertime right now. But we still have Panda G, we still have John Yu, Norma, as well as Delight. Their position 1 may be different for this tournament. They seem to have not settled down on a position 1 so far. Igris will be playing for them, but the same can be said for Syntax, right? We've seen this is the former Flame Esports roster, Stoic, Mikey, Jeezy, Emptiness, but they have Lenny, a new Turkish carry player. I can't wait to see what he does, but some of their stand-ins also have some pretty good names. Kachal, who has previously played with the Winter Bears himself, but of course, Mikey. I mean, this is a roster that is always seeking to dethrone some of the bigger tier 2 teams out there. They just haven't managed to do that so far. I do recall this current roster, it did take a game off of Navi in the TI close qualifiers, but nothing else apart from that. So they didn't have a pretty good run, I would say, but not a fantastic run. Meanwhile, Syntax, they pick up the techies as well as the Clockwork. Summer Bear are going to be going for the Hoodwink, the IO, as well as the Snapfire, and we'll see what exactly they're going to be able to do with that. It is interesting to see an IO come out. Now, I do believe we are going to be having a patch before TI, or maybe even during TI, but the meta doesn't exactly favor an IO. Now, there is no Doom banned up, so Syntax could actually go for it, and I do know that their players, both on the carry position as well as the offlane, they do know how to run on Doom. So, it's just a question of whether or not they want to go for that. So far, though, Syntax, they pick up a Bandolier, a pretty good hero against the Snapfire, because you can just Rolling Thunder your way and smash yourself against the Snapfire while the cookies or while the Mortimers are going off, and then disable the Mortimers. Not to mention, a pretty good hero against the IO too, right? You have the Diffusal Blade to slow the IO down with, and then you have the Rolling Thunder to make sure that the IO can't exactly stand his ground, her ground. I'm not sure what to call the IO, but just prevent him from providing as much heal as possible. Now, Syntax, they will also go for a Nature's likely to be a core Nature's Prophet. You already have the Clockwork and the Techies, but it's interesting. They revealed their carry pick very early on. There's no such thing as an offlane Nature's Prophet in the current meta as it stands.
5 seconds remaining.
So we'll see exactly what this NP is designed to do. Summer Bear, they are thinking about what they want to go for. They do need some way to take care of this NP and him just teleporting all across the map. Storm Spirit used to be a very good answer to that. I do wonder if they should still go for a Storm Spirit. The Ember and the Void can still do the same thing. The Puck isn't available in the pool, neither is Panda's Invoker. And those two are probably, Panda's most successful heroes. And it's interesting how Summer Bears are the ones to actually take away Panda's lineup. Of course, he can play more than 2 mid lane heroes. That is not, that's not a disputable statement. I do think Panda is a master of many, or a jack of all trades. I want to say jack of all trades. Could be actually in this game. The Puck and his Invoker are definitely his most successful heroes as far as I've seen. And they are taking their sweet time with this. Thinking about what they want to go for. Only 10 seconds of reserve time. And I mean, you can go for anything right now. You can even go for a Storm Spirit if you so desire. But no, Summer Bears, they're actually going to go for the Lone Druid. It is going to be the Spirit Bear, the Summer Bear want to play with. That is definitely a good way to take out the NP. I recall, I still have that clip fresh in my mind with the Lone Druid taking out Ame, his Nature's Prophet, and then Ame just instantly GGing out of that game. That has definitely been an interesting one. But for the moment, Lone Druid is pretty good because you can play catch up with the Nature's Prophet pretty darn well. It just depends on if you're able to predict the movement of the Nature's Prophet. If you're going to be able to do that, then you can just, punish the NP for teleports. And not to mention, it's a very free way to actually punish the Nature's Prophet. You don't have to put your main hero in danger. You just have to roam around with the Spirit Bear. So the Agate Scepter is definitely going to be a key timing for the LD.
Team ban.
Syntax will ban out the Storm Spirit. They are afraid of the Storm against the Nature's Prophet. Not to mention, does do pretty much okay against the Clockwork too, right? You can zap out of the cogs, but to be fair, every single Spirit hero can do that, right? The Ember Spirit can Remnant out, the Void Spirit can Astral Step out. The Earth Spirit is someone we don't talk about because, yeah, it's just not a conversation starter. It's pretty much a conversation ender as far as that is concerned. I do recall my team has qualified to the Esports Nations Cup. I am the coach for Team Pakistan, and over on the other side, in our preps against Team India, we did know that they have a phenomenal Earth Spirit player. So we would take out the Earth Spirit each and every single match. Just did not let him have that one, except for the first one. We let it go in the first one, and we lost the first game against India. So Earth Spirit in certain matchups, or rather, I would say in certain hands, is a pretty good hero. Can do wonderful. Maybe not against the Lone Druid, or maybe not even against the Centaur, but against the IO Snapfire would have been possible. But Syntax, oh wow, this is going to be the Snapfire on the mid lane. Especially so because you had an IO and a Hoodwink anyway. But Syntax, now that they know, Snapfire could have played as the offlane as well. It is a decent hero for the offlane. But let's see what Syntax go for. They need an offlane hero for their own team, and the Underlord looks pretty good here. You, unfortunately, have already banned it out. The other team has banned it out, so there's not going to be an Underlord. No Beastmaster available either, no Undying, no Viper, I would say, but some of the heroes that are still present is that Lycanthrope, or maybe you just go for the Slardar, some brute force action. Blink on top of the IO or the Hoodwink, use the Slithering Crush, Nature's Prophet with the Nature's Wrath, and a possible teleport in could mean that you have a start to a 4v5 team fight, right? If you're able to find that kill to time execution within 2 seconds, you could have a good start to the fight. Of course, the fights are always going to be a 6v5 if you think about it, because it's that Lone Druid plus the Bear. Now, sure, for the first 30 minutes of the game, most of the items of the Lone Druid are, or rather, all of the items on the Lone Druid are just on the Bear, and so the main hero is not too big of a factor. But eventually, you get to the point where the Lone Druid starts building up items for his own main hero, right? When the Bear becomes too stacked up, too jacked. So let's see what Syntax and Summer Bear have to offer in this game number 1. I will point out that even though you have some phenomenal players on Syntax's side, Mikey, GT, Stoic, Emptiness, and Lenny, it's still Summer Bear who probably have the edge in this matchup, in this series, just simply because they've been around a whole lot longer. They've been around the block quite a few times. They are also EPL champions. I don't remember the exact season, but it was in this year alone that Summer Bear's lineup won their very first European Pro League title. And that is a big claim. That is an interesting IO set. It looks like someone's stuck inside a crystal ball. I wouldn't want to be stuck inside a crystal ball.
Prepare for battle.
There we go. Game number 1 is before us. And there's no logo here, but Summer Bears are on the Radiant side. Or rather, Summer Bears are on the Dire side. It is Syntax who is on the Radiant side. I will attempt to look for the logo. I cannot promise you if I'll be able to find it. But I will at least attempt to look for it.
Oh,
30
wait,
seconds to
idiots.
battle.
Nope. I could not find the logo. So I'll tell you what, guys. I will. Oh, I'll have to hold that thought. Actually, is that Spirit Bear in a whole lot of trouble? The IO Tether does come out. Can it keep Igris's bear alive? It really doesn't seem like it. One more crush, and they do have it. In fact, Igris got stunned up too. He is going to end up giving away first blood to Jeezy. It is going to be the side of the Radiant. Syntax. They draw first blood, and they take down Summer Bear's carry. Certainly a big kill to be able to grab in, and sure, it didn't go to Emptiness, it didn't go to their offlaner, the player that they really would have liked to have that first blood, but they at least secure it for Jeezy, right? That early boost of speed for that techies will enable him to get on top of Igris. And right now, Emptiness is being zoned out. Jeezy comes in, but the crush from Igris, or rather Emptiness, does miss. So they won't be able to get that kill. And from my end, guys, I will just add in a text. You know, just so that you guys can know which side is on which side, right? Because otherwise, it does become a lot confusing for you viewers out there. I understand that, which is why I'm doing this. It just takes it just takes a bit of time to be able to do that, but we do have it now. Igris, they have taken out Jeezy's courier. Not exactly too big of a loss, but it does seem like Emptiness, he is struggling on that top lane now. He does have a lot of CS, 10 CS, so despite of him getting zoned out, he's doing a very good job at actually making sure that he can play the lane. And since they're pushing out the lane, he'll always have the creep wave coming to him inside of his tower. Jeezy, he goes for another blast off. This time around, the Slardar is not going to follow. And so he will be able to make it out. Meanwhile, over on the mid lane, it does seem like the Snapfire Panda G is coming out ahead against Mikey, who only has about 11 CS, or make it 12 now. But Panda G is ahead in terms of one entire creep wave as far as the numbers are concerned, so plus more than probably 200 or 300 gold. Meanwhile, bot lane, it is a fight for that Lotus. Stoic will push away both Delight as well as Norma as he secures that Lotus pool by himself, as, well, Lenny was there too, with the hits and the Sprout. We'll see what they're going to be able to manage up. Panda G. Nature's Prophet is looking for the teleport, and it does seem like he has decided not to come in. At the very last second, he didn't dupe me. Oh, but because he didn't come, Panda G does have the cookie as well as the blast on Mikey. Nature's Prophet, he's still thinking about teleporting in, but Jeezy, he's gonna come in to be the decisive factor to make sure that Mikey is the one that picks up the kill. Panda G, he drops down, and a pretty good kill to be able to get on the mid lane Snapfire, who was ahead in terms of CS. So Mikey is going to be doing, or rather having a fantastic time. Jeezy's rotations have always impressed me. Even back when I first casted him when he was with the endgame roster, GZ has played a phenomenal game. I mean, I do think if I remember correctly, GZ his Dota 2 rank is around in the top 100 area, so he is pretty much a fantastic player as far as that is concerned. Another one-to-one brawl, but GZ, he is coming in from the side. Pandagy this time around is going to play it conservative and decide to play it safe. But needs to be careful because GZ, he's coming in with the Blast Off, Swashbuckle, as well as a Steel Crash. Stoic comes in from the side, but doesn't manage to find the cogs. Pandagy will be able to make it out. Despite of that two-man rotation coming in, a 3v1, but Pandagy, he is erring on the side of caution. However, because he's so low, he may have to give up control of the first power rune. Stoic, GZ, and Mikey, they are still huddled around, but Jonyu is going to come in alongside Delight as they want to give this rune to Pandagy, but Mikey, he's going to charge up his Rolling Thunder. He is going to attempt to go in as GZ finds another Blast Off, and Swashbuckle is enough. Pandagy will fall, and sure, Stoic was the trade, but that's still very well worth it for the side of the Radiant for Syntax. Oh no, oh man, Emptiness finds a solo kill on this lone druid. That is an absolute disaster for the side of Summerbear. Losing your mid laner twice is one thing, but having your safe lane carry picked off alone without any rotation coming in from the other team, that is truly... I wouldn't even know if it's salt on the wounds. It's more like lava on the wounds, really. You know, someone pours in... Someone goes to Mount Fiji, picks up a glass of lava, if that's possible, but... and just pours it all over their wounds. Lenny, though, he is about to suffer a same fate, or rather, it's not exactly the same, as it did require a rotation coming in, but a very easy pick-off, a very clean pick-off coming in by Norma. Does manage to take down the Nature's Prophet, and sure, hey, when we talk about the Slardar getting a solo kill, that is great, but it's all about the kills, right? And by taking out the Nature's Prophet, it doesn't matter if the Herdwing had to assist the Centaur there, you do get the job done, right? So you do commit to damage mitigation at least a fair bit. And when we take a look at the lost hits, it is Norma. Look at it, the Centaur, 42 CS, 19 denies. That is an absurd CS ratio. More rotations coming in. Ooh, Jeezy missed. And it is surprising, right, guys, how you have more kills on the Radiant side, and I would say more effective kills, because they've taken out the mid lane Snapfire twice. They've taken out Igris once. However, the net worth lead doesn't really suggest that they're ahead. In fact, the net worth lead just a second ago was in favor of the Dire side.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As they take control over on that bot lane, Norma has that Helm of the Dominator up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Norma is about to pick up yet another kill. Stoic does have some options, but those options are very limited. He will just be right-clicked down by Delight. Again, ideally the kill should have gone to Norma, but it is a Clockwork. You want to make sure the Clockwork gets away, or rather, doesn't get away.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Hmm.